Okay. We should be live.
Whoa! Live!
Let's see. Yeah, okay, we're live. Yep.
Hey there, everybody. Suppose it's time for us to wait a little bit for people to filter in. But I'm sitting here being a little lizard. Da, 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 da. I'll give it till. Oh, it's 4:43 now. All right. I think it's a good time to start the introduction.
Yeah.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another DBA short story. Which is an offshoot of our regular TTRPG run in the anime campaign system, and, you know, a sort of side series to DBA. Similar to DBA Data Bounties, however, where data bounties are more combat focused and, you know, mechanics, short stories tell little going-ons throughout the world. This can take the form of downtimes where there's a lot of people, or short stories, which are small, disconnected pieces that show bits within the world. I forgot to set the bot to loop.
Definitely me when I forget to set the bot to loop.
All right. Well, here, let me play the music again. Today we have, me, Rosche, the lizard, the slime. You might recognize me from being lizard. And we have Ballast, who is our streamer.
Hello, I'm Ballast. I am the streamer today. Yes.
He might also play a character, though we also have Drake, who is our good friend.
Hello. I'm chilling.
Wow. Without further ado, I think it'd be probably best to start, though actually thinking about it, there is one thing that I think needs to be set up beforehand.
Yeah, no, I think it would be best if you joined Fine Dining, our Discord server. There's the link.
Alright, I was wondering if you had that ready. I was in the middle of grabbing the link.
No.
Now to get started. The setting as of current is the entrance to the DBA database. This is where, the people go in to sort of jack into the organization zone so they can get ready for a data bounty and so on. Where they go to pick on their little fights. And as there doesn't seem to be anyone here, so someone opens the door and walks in with a little friend in tow. They look around to see no one's here, look to Nebbia. I guess we're waiting here for when people show up. Faye sort of rubs their hand over their tinfoil cap a little bit and looks around, just sort of looks at a watch, looks over to Nebbia. I just want to do another one of these so I can get stronger and then we can go back home, okay? Or, well, I guess with Arcadia, because home is with the cops or whatever. They shake their heads. Or they shake their head, rather. I don't know if Nebula has any explicit reaction to this, though. Faye just kind of sits here and waits.
Sorry, my roommate came in.
Oh, it's okay. Do you want me to go over what I had just said, or?
Yeah, I think if you could.
Yeah. Effectively, Faye walked in. They were like, no one's here. I guess we've got to wait for a while, Nebula. They went and leaned against this little desk or whatever, and then said, well, I just want to come in to do one more fight so we can get a little stronger, and then after that we can go back to Arcadia's apartment or whatever, because our home is, being raided by the cops. Faye kind of just would sit on the side of this desk here and kind of like huddle up a little.
Yeah, Nebula just sort of floats over to you, kind of looking at Faye in a sort of like, I imagined more down demeanor after mentioning that. And they just kind of like float up to head level and just like pat on both of cheeks, nuzzle.
They smile a bit. They genuinely, as opposed to their regular demeanor of seeming rather nonplussed with the world around them, Nebula seems to bring them a little bit of joy. They sort of pat on Nebula as well. Bump heads with them. When are people gonna be here?
Nebula sort of like floats around and begins investigating all of the computers and whatnot, and as that happens, just on cue,
Faye would have turned to look towards Nebula, but presumably feeling another psychic presence in the area, they blink a bit and turn around. Oh. Hey, it's you again. Alright.
you see Manda sort of jump a little bit and they like twirl their head around, like looking in every direction. And then they kind of just like take another step forward and like kind of barely lift up the blindfold. Oh, it's you.
Yeah. So you're here for like a bounty or whatever? Faye seems to go right back to their little alien queen demeanor.
I mean, I guess I was kind of just wandering around. My, mom's been on my case a lot lately, and I don't want to go back to school, so this is where I usually go.
At the comment of having a mom, Faye kind of looks off to the side a little imperceptibly, but like, just shrugs a bit. Well, alright. I'm just waiting here for the next 4 or whatever people who are just gonna show up so we can do a thing and then get out.
Manda just sort of like scratches his head. Because obviously he has questions he'd like to ask, having not expecting expected to see Faye here, but it's kind of awkward to just walk into a room, not expect someone to be here, suddenly like have an awkward conversation with someone, and be like, "Hey, so what about your dad who's in jail?" Samana kind of like scratches his head and idle poses for a bit.
So, are you, like, good?
They look at Manda. What do you mean?
I mean, I don't mean anything by it. It's just like, you know, one of the last times I saw you, you were, you know, the museum.
Oh, that... They pause a little. My emotions are hard to break through. I'm a queen, you know. I need to be strong, so nothing is wrong. They stutter and stumble a little bit, typical of a child attempting to seem stronger than they are.
Manda just sort of looks, literally feeling like, obviously he's not like a detective or anything, but when you're in his aura, he sees all, so he can literally like feel your heartbeat rising as you fucking lie to him. Uh,
Yeah, sure. Is your dad, like,
kind of goes neutral dispositioned. Obviously Manda's not fond of him. And he would be kind of like rolling his eyes as he's doing it, but you can't really see that. So you just sort of see his face drop a little.
is your dad okay?
They pause a little bit at that. Look over to Nebbia, who's toying with the computer, as they just say, well, I mean, he's in jail again, so he'll probably be out soon. I don't even think he notices at this point.
Kind of fiddles with
The
his hands.
surrogate father who picked me up as I crash landed here has done an alright job, I suppose, but can't really go back to where we live while he's gone.
Nods.
They'll pick me up and put me back in the dumb house where all of the children without other parents live.
Kind of just looks like,
Wait, like, so you haven't even been staying at home?
I've been staying with a new friend. Her name's Arcadia. It's not
Fun.
been bad, but before that, I guess I was just cruising around this establishment. They say, picking out the largest word they know to sound, more regal.
Manda thinks of the only Arcadia he knows, and is like, oh, that Arcadia?
We're talking like lizards?
he thinks of the disposition of like Faye and Arcadia standing next to each other. Yeah, they're both green, and they both have connections to DBA.
It's like, they don't happen to be, like, a big, mean lizard lady, do they?
What? No, she's a nice girl with a trumpet.
Okay. Different
Arcadia.
Arcadia, then.
blinks. The tendency of humanity to share names over a vast amount of people is strange.
Shrugs, kind of scratches the back of his head.
Do you have a point to all of these questions, Earthling?
I mean, no, well, I guess. Just,
Kind of like kicks at the ground.
I don't know, it just looked like you were in a tough spot. And you didn't really seem all that into the whole museum thing. I mean, like, who does that? Like,
He kind of like furrows his brow a little bit.
you can't just put someone's life in danger dragging them into a situation like that for the sake of it. I mean, like, that's bullcrap.
Faye doesn't really know what to say to that, so they just kind of look at Nebula still. And
They're like dancing on the keyboard.
after a few moments, they turn to Manda and they say, if you really care that much about that, know that he does care about me. For whatever reasons he has. You just know that part of him, which is inefficient, I suppose, is the word that is best to be used. That one thought it would be experience. And besides, the most upsetting part about that was that I didn't like any of the exhibits.
Kind of wanders over. Now senses Nebula. Kind of looks.
What? Are you interested in my
Nebula sort of
companion?
floats over to your shoulder. Starts peeking around at Manda too.
No, I just didn't notice anyone else was here.
Faye realizes that Manda has a very explicit AI that can be exploited, but does not make that known. So, were there more people that were going to show up, or are we just sitting here, like, doing nothing?
Kind of shrugs.
Was there even a bounty scheduled?
I just wait here for when one's happening and then jump in. I don't really care about scheduling.
Kind of looks.
I mean, I could go check. I wasn't really in the mood for one, though.
They sigh at that. Then I guess I am sitting here for nothing. Their dumb little monkey tail unfurls and sort of furrows a bit, seemingly having a mind of its own and a little... But, you know, showing a little bit of annoyance.
Manda sort of looks.
What?
I forgot you had a tail.
A new development of my race. As I get older, it seems my biology changes, so that's all it is. Are you going to keep pointing out things about me, or, like, is there an impetus to all of this? You ask me about my dad, my surrogate. You ask me about my tail, how I am, so on. It sounds like you're trying to get a favor from me. So, human, what do you want?
Sort of scratches.
I mean, I was just, I don't know, making conversation.
You can
I
tell
guess.
Faye doesn't seem to buy that.
I was just gonna get on the computer and never mind.
They attempt to get the answer out of you the one way they know how. Their eyes glow a little bit.
Manda just sort of looks.
Well, I mean,
Kind of just.
I don't know, it's just, I guess it's coincidence or whatever. I was actually gonna go down to the police station your dad's at later on today, so seeing you kinda like, I don't know. Kinda put a stop in my head.
Faye, like, hears that and is kind of, like, looks to the side a bit at the idea of, Manda was going to the police station or whatever where the dad was at. I wasn't aware that was close.
I mean, he thinks for a second. It's relative, it's not far from me.
Well, uh-oh. Drake, you kind of roboted a bit. Are you good now?
Am I?
You're good now. What were you saying?
Manda just looks at Faye and thinks to himself. Keeps Fucking saint.
Well, considering I'm doing nothing anyways, and you are going to go there, I request you take me.
Points ray gun.
I'm not sure if you'd want that.
I want him out as soon as possible, and people go to the police station to pick up their people that they care about to do that. Right?
Well, it's not that simple. I mean, if he hasn't been transferred to a prison yet, then he's probably still in holding. I was just gonna...
Kinda holds his tongue.
I guess question him.
Scratches the back of his head. Kinda like uncomfortably, like turning his gaze.
Question him about what? He won't give you the blueprint of any of his scientific findings or whatever, if that's what you want.
I'm not interested in it.
Pause for a moment. Easily like
Oh god.
this. Um.
Drake, you're
This-
kind of roboting real hard for some reason. Technical difficulties, you know how it is, folks. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Am I
Try
hearable?
talking a little bit more, because I can hear you and you seem fine.
Talk-
Huh.
I think what it might be is I know that sometimes having the music bot in a call fucks with people's ping. That might be what it is, I'm not sure.
Hello?
Hi. Let me also attempt to switch the region override to US East in the chat. Maybe that will help.
Drake is central.
US Central. Try talking a little bit more, Drake.
Hello?
Hi.
Talk.
You sound
Rosche, you sound like you're speaking into a tin can now. I see, so now it affected Rosche.
Hello?
Hello. I'm pretty sure it's the music bot's fault. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Alright. So I've flipped around my microphone cable. Do I sound good?
So far, yeah.
Okay. What were you trying to say, Drake?
Oh, I don't even fucking remember.
Faye asked, or Faye said something along the lines of, if you want to know the blueprints of any of his science machines, he won't give them to you, if that's what you're asking. Manda then said, I'm not interested in any of those.
Right. Kind of pauses for a moment.
I don't know. I'm just kind of wanted to ask them, like, why? Among other things. It's not really every day you're in a position to question people's whose ideals oppose your own.
Faye pauses. It seems as though at some point they also wanted to ask the same question from what Manda could tell, but they haven't.
Well, I suppose we'll ask your questions then when we get there. Nebia?
Turns to Nebia.
Sitting on the arm rest of the chair, sort of looking.
We're going to be going out to a place, so you'll have to hide out in the little bag for a bit, but I'll take you out as soon as it's done.
They have a little special bag for having Nebia hidden in it. It has holes and it has snacks and stuff in it.
Up, and they look to Manda. They look to you again. They float up and kind of swirl around you and just go flop in the bag and poke.
Faye smiles a bit at Nebia and pats them on the head, before looking to Manda.
Well, lead the way. Weirdo.
They say, not really sure what else to call him.
Well, take the subway.
Manda has a stroke.
This is so weird. I thought Drake escaped from the internet demons.
I mean, as I said, it might just be that the bot is causing loading troubles.
That's fair. I'll
Like, it might be otherwise, considering Drake's not always had the best internet, but it is a consistent thing.
I'll kick out the music bot and I'll start on getting the tracks put into the Roll20 instead. So what was Manda saying after the after being told to get going and being called a weirdo?
He was take the subway or something.
Got it.
Wallet.
Alright, it's not the music bot.
Doesn't hurt to have it out, at least, considering we could understand a bit more of what he was saying.
Yeah, that is true. We got that it's probably best to take the subway.
Man, that just makes me wonder of how well the infrastructure of Daybreak Bay is, because I feel like it has all of the methods of transportation, which isn't a bad thing, but probably makes it weirder. You know?
Mm-hmm. I imagine... Oh, they've already gone. Well, let me put in the, track again into the Roll20, and I can schmoove the maps a little. As I imagine they go out of the building, Faye eventually puts down their ray gun and they, take the subway out to the police station. Let me get the music in. This is a little futzy. I'm very sorry. Alright, Roll20. I've got to get the music in. What?
Huh?
Drake left, I think.
I think they're just resetting their internet while you're working on that, I think.
Yeah. Well, for everyone who's here, you get a Bambino update. Bambino is running around their little terrarium. For those new viewers who don't know who Bambino is, they're my little pet lizard. They're funny. Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
My internet literally just went out.
Oh, damn.
So I was half right.
Well, I have the music, going up now. As I imagine, after a, short period of time, the two of them go to the police station and, eventually end up here. And I will shift ping. The holding cell area of the police station for all of the people who commit, crimes that are not very good in the city, but are from DBA, so they need to put them in a special place where they aren't, fucking around or whatever, to say the least. Faye seems a little discomforted by the cop who is standing over there, but the cop is mainly just here to watch over the little area. I did set it to loop, but roll 20 is a fucking curse. I also thought I set this to hide, but oh well. Faye kind of just like taps their foot nervously, like looking to Manda to lead the way because they seem very uncomfortable with all of the, things here.
I had to rush the 20, so I'm loaded.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. I can move you.
Pass by this, they see, a little zone for, generally, the in-between of the cells, and then they see, this, and also this one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Manda can't see that.
Well, Faye sees in there. I'm just revealing it as we go by because Faye is currently audio surrogate, or not audio, audience surrogate. They note that, Oritov and Synibon are in those two cells. They're being a little, place to see nameplates. They don't really have much interest in those as of yet at least, as they wait for Drake to get back in the roll 20, because I don't want to outpace him or whatever.
Except I need to.
I believe Discord is having a bit of issues at the moment.
I see. Wow. We wanted to do anything, and so now we're being punished by God. That explains why I tried to send a message to you earlier and it didn't go through.
Is that a message to me or to Drake?
To you, Ballast.
Ah, what was the message?
I asked where'd you put it, but I found it already.
I see. Yeah, no, I see that. Don't you just love the internet and how it is an infallible set of computers always working as planned?
What was that, Drake?
So it's Discord that's just fucking up.
Yes,
Okay.
that is presumably the case.
Yeah.
Discord and my internet simultaneously.
Yeah.
Most likely, mostly Discord, but like it's probably like a solid 20% your internet. Yeah.
Are you back in the roll 20?
Let's see. Yes.
All right.
Scroll back over.
Yeah, as I said, Alt Shift Ping. We moved past this door. Faye noted, oh, hey, there's a name sign here for current occupant Oritov, current occupant Synibon. They sort of look to Manda to keep walking because they're not interested in those just yet. They seem a lot more meek now that they're in a public place where it's not just Manda who they can theoretically bully to get their way.
Manda sort of like looks over towards them. I imagine you can hide Nebbia since they're in the bag, right?
Yeah, they're...
Get in the
Yeah,
fucking bag, Nebby.
We don't have to drip.
Yeah.
Manda just sort of looks over to Faye. It's like,
I mean, don't be so worried. We're just gonna... You can talk to him first. I imagine you haven't seen him in a while.
The red room is labeled as like a secure, like a solitary cell. There's not much going on there. Well, yeah, I can reveal everything.
I mean, I'm in GMs.
You know, would see this. Just a generic laundry area for like clothes and stuff, and then padded cell. And from there, as they move on a little bit more, there is another one of these, which leads to labeled for Rubedo. Faye basically kind of, upon seeing that, nabs Manda's hand, pulls them over a little bit, like,
This is the one.
Manda sort of like despairs.
I mean, we don't have to talk to him first. Like, seems like you need a moment anyway.
I don't care about the rest of them. I'm just
I mean, you may not. That's why I came here.
if you want to talk to them, then fine. I don't want to be around the guys in blue.
what was that?
Everybody blue.
Yeah, Lamau.
So what? Do you want to talk to the numbers guy? Do you want to talk to Oritov?
Well, actually, no. Faye would probably call Oritov the blue guy.
Oritov's purple. That man's a drow.
Well, I wanted to try talking to all of them. The ones I mostly wanted to talk to were, I guess, your dad and someone else.
Well, then let's go find your someone else, and then we can talk to him, alright? He's asleep right now anyway, I think.
Rubedo, from a little window-like thing, seems to be laying down on their cot, not really moving much. Manda would notice that on some of the walls in the room, there are some awful, or not awful things, but there's like random nonsense drawn onto the walls, like scientific formulas and shit.
Sort of scoffs.
There are a couple of odd messages of like writing like, oh man, how to get out, where is this, random coordinates, so on. But other than that, it's mostly just science jargon.
So what kind of scientist is your dad anyway?
He makes a bunch of things. He does mechanical stuff. He makes like serums and so on. He does magic, which is not a science, but he does it. He's made magic machines.
Sort of nods along.
So he's like a magitech engineer, or?
I guess he just does a lot of things.
You see that's another holding area, and there seems to be an active interrogation going on in this room.
Kind of looks over and just tries to ignore it. Kind of looks in, peeks, looks around, sees no one's there. Eh.
Yep, this is the one.
Yep. And, I don't have this character's theme in the role. Oh, you have it. Cool.
Just because I realized we switched to having it in the Roll20, I figured. Although,
Yeah.
now that we know that it was Discord, we could also switch back to the bot.
You know, perhaps. I have a couple of these in the Roll20. But I can put it up in the bot, and if it stops working, then I have the MP3. I'm just sifting through a lot of stuff as of current. Faye would kind of like look to Manda, and as this person is like, quote unquote seen, and Faye would just be like, "Who's this? Oh, that's a little loud.
Yes.
Why are they ruining the vibe of the short story?"
There we go.
I forget, did Manda get their name? I don't think he did.
I think they
just Sparky.
I think they just called themselves Sparky. I think she did say her name because Brave said something about incriminating, and then she said, "But I haven't even told you my name," or some shit like that, and then incriminated herself.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure.
Either way, the little name labeled as current occupant would be their name.
Kind of like looks, squints.
Looks
Well,
in the little window.
They went by Sparky. They came in after you guys and tried to steal one of the exhibit items.
Yeah, Faye looks in. Faye sees that this person is not noticed Faye and is just currently doing backflips.
They're doing flips.
Yeah, I can tell.
He just sort of like sulks.
So what? Well, they came in, started trying to steal stuff. What makes them important?
Kind of just looks over to Faye.
I mean, they're not important to you, I suppose. I don't even really know them that well. I'm just, I don't know, curious.
Well, I'll just sit here. You do your thing.
Kind of like looks back to the interrogation room. He doesn't have the keys to the cell, so he's like,
I guess we should get an officer.
I mean, I assume that there's like actual bars and shit that you would be able to talk through.
Yeah, it's like a door. There's like a like sort of square-shaped window that you can, talk face to face with someone through. They seem to have built it into the doors here so that you don't need to like,
For visitation purposes.
yeah. It's not that serious, so
it's an old-fashioned prison or police station then. Manda just sort of walks up, peeks in.
Yo,
You get her mid-flip, she falls to the ground. Who wants to talk? What?
Lifts up hand to the little window and like waves.
I can't believe Manda talking cut off her theme perfectly. You really threw her off her game that hard.
yay! Yay! Didn't remember the loop because my life is a fucking comedy.
Their theme starts back up. Their groove is back.
Sits on the edge of the bed. Yeah, you're the one that beat the shit out of me the most. Yeah, well, what can I do for you, kid?
I kind of looks over to the nameplate, which I assume says, like, you know, Nikki or whatever.
Yeah.
So, should I call you Nikki or Sparky?
I'm fine with either. If you want to go, I mean, I don't have a nickname for you or really know your name either. So like, I don't know. What do you want me to call you?
Manda just like,
I didn't answer my question. I'm Manda.
All right. Well, do you have a nickname or do you want me to call you Manda? That didn't answer my question either.
Yeah, no nicknames, just Manda.
But do you
Faye
want a
kinda, like-
nickname?
Faye puts their head in their hands as they listen to this person. They seem very annoyed right now.
I mean,
he kind of thinks about it, like,
well, I guess I wouldn't mind a nickname, but I don't have one, so, you know, that's that.
Alright, well, I'm not good at nicknames, so I just generally... the nicknames I've given people, including myself, are based off of the powers, which is why I'm Sparky. I'm gonna call you Armando, because it's like your name, Manda, and you made the weird fucking arms. Also, the snake. Please don't summon the weird fucking snake. That shit terrified me.
Oh, what a heavy... No, he's... Oh. Shit. Never mind. No, he's probably sated.
thinks for a second.
Alright, they don't forcibly come out of spite. Does Armando sound good to you, kid, or do you still want to just be Manda, just to confirm where we're at on that?
Manda just looks.
Well, it's not as...
Listen, if you got a better name, go for it. That's just the first thing that came to mind, considering how easy of a portmanteau it is.
Not as anime as I was hoping for, but...
I mean, you did a lot of shit. I don't know what one word thing I could come up with to generalize what you did, other than the arms thing.
Manda like thinks you did a lot of shit. He's like, man, I didn't even use all of my arsenal. He kind of like takes pride in that. It's like kind of like turns to the side and like smirks.
Hey, arm weirdo, maybe you should stop letting her talk circles around you and ask your question.
Oh shit, is there someone else here?
Yeah,
Looks at Faye.
Alien queen.
a friend, I guess.
Faye makes... Wait, no, I've got something for this. Continue.
Alright, yeah. So anyway, Manda or Armando, or do you have a better nickname suggestion, I guess? Unless you want to just stop these talking circles around you, which I'm not really doing. I'm just trying to set a common ground for if we are going to be talking.
Either or, I don't mind.
He sort of shrugs.
In which case, you can call me Sparky, Armando.
Cool.
Nice to officially meet you, I guess. Damn it, I was gonna change it myself. Damn it. So anyway, what's your question? So, theoretically.
He sort of thinks about it. I assume you're not really gonna give me answers to some of the questions I have, so
I mean, I don't
Add more,
know.
like-
That depends on the question. Do I need a lawyer? Oh, I mean, I probably need a lawyer. I still... I very technically, I don't even need a free phone call, considering what I could do, but this fucking... whoever the fucking warden is kind of ruining that right now for me.
I mean, you probably don't need a lawyer for me. I'm not gonna be spilling any beans. They've already gotten everything they wanted out of me.
Kind of leans on the bars.
I mostly came here to ask you, like, I don't know. I don't feel like you're a bad person, so just, like, curious. What's with the whole... Or what was with the whole theatrics in, like, the museum, you know? I don't know.
Kind of looks down.
Well,
I'm not, like, a detective or anything. I'm mostly just trying to do this for myself.
Between one psychic that uses electricity and one that somewhat does, to be honest, the very basics is that I'm part of a group. We call us a newer member, mind you, but from what I've been told, they're called the kineticists, because, you know, elemental psychic shit. And one of the older members heard about this weird artifact thingy, heard of it being lightning, was like, Sparky, lightning's good for you. That might be useful for you. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. And so I was asking if the guy knew anybody that, you know, you could help me with getting that. And the weird building lady was the one. So, like, you know, listen, it was pretty good for me. I just walked up and grabbed it. I was right about to put him on. I didn't even get to test it out before you laid the smackdown on me.
Manda sort of thinks up.
Oh god, yeah, the gauntlets were pretty cool. He thinks when he had them on.
She frowns. See, that's why I wanted them. Because while my electricity's cool, I'm not an epithet user, and then that would have technically made me an epithet user, and I don't know, maybe that could have been cool, I don't know.
Yeah. It felt like, I don't know, it was weirdly empowering. I felt strangely attuned to it when I put it on.
Well, good for you.
I mean, he kind of shrugs like,
I don't know, maybe you serve your time, come back, they'll let you try it. Just don't steal it this time.
Kid, you know how many graffiti charges I'm currently facing? It's gonna be a long time for Sparky.
he sort of frowns.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm not too particularly keen to being surrounded by cops either, so I've not been making a good case for myself with that either. I've been for the most part, I've been rather cranky for the past couple days. This is the best I've been, other than perfecting my backflips without my board. They confiscated my board, by the way. Total dick move. What the fuck am I supposed to do here if not fucking just ramp across the walls?
Oh, they put your board into evidence?
I don't fucking know where they put it. They just took it.
Sort of like scratches his head.
Probably. I don't know
He
cop
thinks
stuff.
to himself like, I wonder if I could borrow it.
You know... I'll hold off on that. So you're telling me the only reason you went after the gauntlets was like... I guess, I don't know, some sort of greed?
I don't know if greed is the best word to put for it, but I guess.
Kind of like leans on the bars again.
Let's look at the
So are like these people like a bad guy organization, or are they like neutral, black, like gray, or like
I
are
will
they like
plead
chaotic good?
I definitely not that one. I'll be honest with you on that. The old flame geezers definitely not chaotic good.
He frowned.
But like, I don't know. The boss is kind of chill. She's all right.
Nods.
She stands up and leans forward, leaning close to the bar. It's a joke because she's a cryokineticist, kid. She sits back down.
Manda just sort of blinks and then lets out an awkward laugh.
But yeah, no, like, I mean, they haven't broken me out yet or anything, so, like, they can't be the worst if they're not just going to directly reject the law and how it works, I guess. I don't know. At least not as a group, anyways.
Well, I guess it's also not good on your record since you're new, right? I don't know if this is like your first mission or something.
I mean, we don't really do missions, from what I understand. It's we'll just like, you know, psychics are a bit rarer, kineticists are a bit more limited as opposed to general psychics. So I think it's more just a, you know, sticking together type thing. I don't know. Again, I'm pretty new, so I'm not sure.
Nods.
I guess. If it's any consolation, you were pretty strong and you don't seem like a horrible person.
Yeah, fucking pretty sure. I didn't even get to use my best technique. You fucking, you put me in the fucking whatever the fuck you put me in before I could use my escape plan. Fucking.
Manda senses an opportunity to gloat and decides not to take it.
Ride the Lightning's so fucking cool.
Wait, do you name your techniques?
What do you mean, why wouldn't I name my techniques?
Oh!
Let's look at the fun.
He like lifts up to the bars.
What kind of fucking weirdo has superpowers and doesn't make weird fucking attack names? Like, what?
Well, I don't know. On DBA, a lot of people, like a lot of the fans, name techniques for people, and then people sort of just adopt it, and like some people just like say random shit.
Yeah, I don't really know
Some
about
people
all
don't
that.
say anything.
Like I said, I'm new in town. I don't really know what the fuck DBA is about.
Oh, he's just sort of like,
I'm honestly surprised. DBA's like TLDR, like we're the strongest of the strong gather.
I see. So that's why there was the fucking weird guy in the fucking space robes doing whatever the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, all the people there defending the gauntlets were from DBA. And I don't know if you remember seeing or if you heard about it through just eavesdropping or whatever, but some of the other prisoners here were also from DBA.
and he kind of like frowns and he gets like the sweating emoji.
They tried to break in just before you guys and steal a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, like I knew about that other weirdos, considering, like, Building Lady was scouting the place to make sure it was good for me to enter, and it was after you beat down those weirdos. Thankfully, they weren't going after the gauntlets and succeeded. That would have made my job a lot harder, probably. Even though I did get technically even harder job by having to fight, like, 6 people, I guess.
Nods.
Faye steams a little bit.
So who's your friend?
I don't know if they want me to say.
Kind of glances over at Faye.
They're sort of in bad times.
I'm an alien queen who comes from another planet.
Holy shit, an alien. What kind of alien are they? Like, are they a little gray person, or what are we talking about?
Green antenna.
Our biology changes.
Manda just sort of like leans over.
They're a psychic.
So a psychic green alien with biology. Man, that sounds like a really weird person. Like, how many things you gonna, when you playing Jingle with your personality or something?
He thinks.
They're, do you know what Dragon Ball is?
Yeah.
They're a Saiyan.
What do you... The green ones are the fucking Namekians or whatever, aren't they?
No, it's... like...
They looked at Manda like what? Like...
Manda thinks. Fuck. Wait, do I have this in my sheet? I got something for this. Let me go open my sheet real quick.
I'm far beyond whatever weak race you just named, alright? Weirdo.
Was that to me or you, Armando?
They're saying that at Manda.
I think they're talking to me.
Manda just sort of had to get it out of my fucking sheet. Let me get it and post it. He's just gonna create a neural link with Sparky. Just really quick and be like,
They're, I don't know. It's like... Like, I don't want to discredit them or anything, but they think they're like an actual alien, but they're originally a human, but then during the museum thing, I think they became a Saiyan.
Not really being used to neural links, she's just going to, considering this is something she could do with her lower proficiency, which is kind of locked into right now. She just throws you a spark with the one talent that she had that you figured out. So, like, why are they green then?
Face paint.
How old are they? What?
Manda like looks over.
Very early teens.
I think they're like 13 or 14.
Why are all the other fucking... Why are all the psychics I meet either fucking children or fucking old... What the fuck? Am I the only fucking psychic in their 20s in this town? What the fuck?
Manda's sort of like... He drops the neural link. Is like,
I mean, I've only been a psychic for like less than a year. I'll get there.
What do you mean you've only been a psychic for less than a year? What the fuck? That's unfair. I spent like 3 years to get where I am. That's bullshit. Why do you have so many techniques?
Well, about that, it's actually another reason I'm here.
Considering they're both neural linking right now, I
No,
imagine
this
Faye's
isn't neural
looking at-
linking. This is out loud now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they're
out loud
talking
now.
out loud now. I thought like Faye was just going to be sitting there staring at them as they seemingly have a staring contest where Manda is looking in there.
So, with what you said, and keep in mind that she already in that session basically was like, Manda was like, "Wait, you've seen Hunter x Hunter?" She's like, no." She's like, "Oh shit, are you like that fucking Crollo guy? Are you gonna steal my powers?"
No, I'm not Crollo.
So what are you?
Faye in the
What are you
corner says
about
Hunter
then,
x Hunter's mid.
I can, so... God. I hate explaining this. So, like... I'm very in tune with psychic wavelengths, and I can, like, see the wavelengths that other psychics and epithet users and...
Kind of like looks in Rubedo's direction.
even magic users put off, and sort of adapt that. I guess is the easiest way to put it.
I see. So your psychic power is to be one of those fucking copycats or some shit, then.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that's my psychic power, that's just one of them.
What do you mean, one of them?
Let's look at the front.
I can do a lot.
So you're
I've
saying
been
that,
through a lot.
so you're saying the arms aren't a copy thing? That's that's just the Narmando's specialty, then?
Yeah.
He like kind of like looks like,
I mean, I have my own techniques. Quite a few at this point.
See,
Quite a few
this
borrowed ones, too.
This is why I had to look up fucking anime and shit for lightning, because lightning has very specific properties. I can't just make up new shit. I have to work within bounds. And so she starts like, this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
he kind of just thinks like,
I don't know. It's kind of like the best of both worlds, you know. I develop my own techniques. You know, I've read it.
he kind of like leans in. It's like,
Listen, I've read a lot of manga too. I don't try to. I'm not saying that you plagiarized, but I don't try to plagiarize. I'm just trying to, like, you know, be inspired.
Alright, so you're gonna try to be inspired from me? You're gonna plagiarize the plagiarist kid? Is that what you're going for today?
I want to learn Godspeed. Yeah.
You fucking go ahead, I guess. I don't know how effective it'll be right now, considering she just taps the wall. Like I said, the warden's kind of like fucking putting a downer on me and my capabilities right now. So I don't know if I don't know how your weird vision thing works. I don't know what you can see right now. And true to what she's saying, Manda, you can still see psychic energy coming off of her. But as compared to when she was literally fucking just pumping herself full of it and shooting it off like it was nothing, much lower right now.
he kind of looks like,
It doesn't always stick, but I figured I'd give it a try anyway.
Fucking go for it.
kind of like takes a look back, lifts up blindfold to make sure like the cops aren't looking. It's been so long since I've played Manda. I'm gonna look at this shit again.
What are you talking about, Manda? This is on Mando, my good friend.
Let's look at the front.
If you could just step a bit closer.
You're really not doing a good job of making me think that you're not Crollo. But sure, kid.
Listen, there's an optimal range to these things.
Is this good?
Yeah, sort of reaches his hand up, like points it through the bars. We'll try to fucking Psycho Adapter. No dice.
It is a 6. Correct?
Let me check. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, you managed to, like, basically you managed to look at one of the small notes, and you managed to, like, okay, yeah, so you can, like, currently make, like, small electricity, but it's definitely, like, if you feel like maybe if you just let her out of the prison, perhaps, maybe you would have a better shot at it, who knows?
Kind of looks at it, it's like,
Oh, I think the cell is dampening anything that goes in.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was... Were you not listening to me?
Well, I didn't expect it to dampen so much. Usually I'm resistant to that kind of stuff.
I mean, it might not even be that it's dampening what you have. Like I said, I got, like, fucking nothing. I don't know if that affects your thing or not, but, like, I don't know.
nods.
Like, the best I can do is the fucking electrical, fucking signals. But not even as far as I used to be able to do it. I could go for, like, a fucking good mile and a half before. Currently, like, 20 meters, and I can't, like... I don't really have a full gauge of... I don't... Only way that thing works is that if I know where I'm sending the signal, because it's just making a signal. I don't really know this fucking area. But anyway, that's the main thing I can kind of right now do, and she just holds up 2 fingers and electricity sparks between them, and about yay voltage.
Kind of
Very
looks.
fucking little, kid.
I wish my psycho radar could go up to a mile.
You have a fucking radar too? What the fuck? What do you mean?
He just scratches.
Like I said, I've got a lot.
No fucking shit. Fucking Lucille for ass. She plops back down on the bed. Anyway, any other questions you got, kid? Or always trying to steal the old spark from Sparky, the only real thing you needed.
He kind of like thinks.
Well, I don't think you're gonna answer anything about the kineticists. I guess I'll have to look into that on my own.
I mean, it depends on the question. The only real thing I can say is that I don't want to say too much about old Fire Geezer, considering, like I said, he's not the nicest of guys. I already stole one of his techniques. If I say too much about him, I don't want to piss him off. He's scary.
Nods.
He has like a fucking sword or some shit.
Manda thinks for a second.
Wait, I should try nabbing a spirit sword technique.
I have no idea what that fucking means.
Swords
You're not-
are overrated.
Let's look at
He looks to his fucking Zanpakuto.
Sparky looks at her hands, making slight amounts of electricity. Can't even get my fucking lightning. If I could make a lightning blade, I could get the fuck out of here and no one's business, but no, don't have that. God damn it. Just mumbles to herself. Fucking plasma cutter. It's the perfect tool to just fucking cut through concrete. But no, don't have that right now. But anyway,
I guess
yeah, no, any other questions?
I guess I don't really have any other questions. I don't want to keep you too long.
In which case, I am going to go back to important business. She does a backflip. She continues to do so.
They're average.
I mean, yeah, she just spent a lot of energy even conjuring that much electricity.
Faye gets up off the bench. So are you done stealing? So now that you're done stealing her powers, we can go talk to Dad, right?
I guess.
Music, by the way.
Yep.
LMAO.
Faye this time would lead a little bit, gaining a little bit of confidence considering now she has like seen Manda go through an entire conversation and feels, yeah, he's pretty weak. I could take him in a fight. Not literally, but like, you know. They seem a little nervous as they go and approach again. And after a few seconds, they knock, which prompts the good doctor to sit up, suddenly look over. Faye, my darling child! And I'm gonna play the music. They walk right up to the door, press their face against the glass a little bit. Faye backs up a little bit. How have you been? Have you hidden all the things in the lab? All of the no good things that the police shouldn't see? Yes. I haven't been able to go back. Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. I have more. I've been waiting here for you. Oh, I see you've brought a friend. Hello. They wave to Manda.
Manda sort of scrunkles his brow and just looks.
Yo.
Oh, shit.
So now Rubedo leans in a little bit,
Could you give me another
ineffectually.
shift ping? I accidentally zoomed out.
Wow.
Thank you.
Rubedo leans in a little bit, and, you know, very ineffectually whispers, "Where'd you find this one? Are you even old enough to be in a relationship?" We are not in a relationship. Really? I mean, you're here together. You were with Synibon. Point taken. Dad, have you been like this the whole time? What do you mean? Faye rolls their eyes. You know, you... They seem like really hurt. Like they don't really know what to say. They're kind of like stifled. Oh, come on now. Talk. You can speak to me. Oh, are you in one of those moods? Ah, yes, you can't stand to see me work on my science because my brilliance is blinding you. Yes, I understand. But come on, now is no time for that. I am in prison and I need your help. Faye looks a little dejected.
Manda sort of looks over, like puts a hand on Faye's shoulder and like pat.
Why have you been stuck in crazy mode more often? Rubedo, like, looks a little surprised. Mad scientist look kind of drops a little bit. What? What do you mean, crazy mode? This is me. I'm Dr. Rubedo. Dr. Rubedo Caldwin. You are Faye Caldwin. You're my daughter. I am the brilliant genius mastermind with 100 IQ and the ability to make pretty much anything I want, even with lemons, the lowest form of fruit.
Manda just thinks to himself, like, 100 IQ isn't that high.
He said 300.
Oh, 300.
Oh yeah, no, I heard 800 as well. It
Yeah.
must have gotten eaten a bit.
Faye looks a lot more upset upon hearing that dumb descriptor. Now, look, listen. They lean down a little bit. Faye, you and your boyfriend here. Now, I have a very important task for you all. I've been writing out formulas on the walls. I've been making sure all the proper things are in order, and I just need you to execute on something for me, and then I can leave and we can go back to our abode, yes? Manda just sees the more Rubedo talks, the more Faye kind of just crumples in on themselves, not really happy about any of this. Okay, you're in one of your moods. Fine, I can return to my bench, and then when you are ready, you can come back, and I can help you with what you need to do. I need to gather my energy.
Sort of looks at Faye, guides them to the bench.
They wordlessly sit down.
You see Nebia kind of poke their hand out of bag and like gaze at you with a single glowing eye through it. She like reaches around to like grab you somewhere and pat.
Faye slowly looks up at Manda with some encouragement from Nebia, and they say, "He isn't always like that. Something about his epithet or something does that to him." He said it was his epithet, maybe something with his dad or whatever, but I can never handle it when he's like that. So there's your answer. That's why. Thought maybe I could get him to be normal and we could just go home and it would be a misunderstanding, but no.
Manda sort of looks at Faye, understanding a little more about their situation. Kind of thinks to himself, a bit conflicted now in his goals of what he was going to do here. Because originally he was going to yell at Rubedo. He's like, I kind of feel bad if it's like someone who's kind of being commandeered by their epithet, if not wholly, but in a way it's such that their demeanors being so heavily altered that who they are as a person is being hid behind a thick shell of epithet. He's like, that's kind of depressing.
he is a genius and he makes a lot of really nice things, but a lot of it's taken over by dumb, evil machines made from lemons or something, because that's very attached to it or something. I don't know. Well, I'm done sulking. I've got to help him now. They say, sort of getting up.
Manda just... You see Manda kind of like jolt, and like kind of move his mouth a bit and mumble to himself like,
No, we're not doing that.
They blink and look at Manda. What do you mean? I can get upset at him, but he's still my dad. I need to do something for him.
No, not you.
kind of looks.
So... By the way...
Kind of.
Faye is lightly holding Nebbia's hand, by the way.
Kind of like stares and sort of like lingers for a bit.
Why don't you sit back down?
Why?
I
Kind of in the back of his head, it's like, God, I hate dealing with this.
I think a moment to calm down would help you. Can tell this is obviously very, emotionally stressful.
Kind of keeping his voice low.
Your dad obviously isn't being cooperative. I doubt they have any plans to release him anytime soon.
Well, that's fine, because he has a plan for that. I just need help him, because he wants me to.
I don't think you should be breaking your dad out of prison.
Why not? Faye kind of has this look on their face, like, they don't really want to, but it's like all they can think to do.
Actually, I think it'd be better if you guys maybe... You said you're staying at a friend's right now, right?
Yeah?
It'd probably be best if you keep doing that for a while.
And what happens to him then?
I mean, they'll eventually process him.
I don't...
He'll probably go to some sort of Epithet prison jail. Maybe they'll, for whatever reason, decide to lighten his sentence because he's connected to DBA. Who really knows? Honestly, I'll be honest, I don't think that should be your main concern right now. Like, out of curiosity, are you even in school?
No, but that doesn't matter. He taught me a bunch of things because he's smart.
Okay, what has he taught you?
Math, history, music at one point. Writing. Math sometimes sucked because Mr. Synibon was there and the numbers got big.
Factually wrong. The numbers were small. They were just many of them.
I need to at least hear him out. They pause a bit, take in a deep breath. I can get upset or whatever for a second, but it doesn't change that whatever he wants is probably important or something, so I need to help him.
I mean, if you get him out, he's probably just gonna get himself back into a situation that'll put him back in here. And if they drag you into it eventually, what? Are you gonna grow up and do the same thing? Do you actually believe what they're doing?
Faye looks at Manda and
Like,
just...
genuinely. Do you believe in stealing, theft, endangering innocence?
Does that matter? Out of everyone on the planet, out of everything, him and maybe 2 other people were the only people who ever actually wanted me, so I can't just let him sit here. I can't just sit around and do nothing while people who don't care about me don't do anything for me because they don't have to, and the one person that does care is here, locked behind this fragile shell of nothing, because he has an epithet, or something, or there's something else that's wrong with him. I don't know. I'm just supposed to let him sit there for years?
Manda sort of... You can see Manda's obviously not comfortable either, and he sort of like grips his arm again. You can see that he is ever so slightly like shaking.
Do you think I don't understand that I'm not an alien queen and that I'm just fabricating the shell of something around myself because I know that whoever my parents were didn't want me? They tear up.
He kind of like puts a hand on shoulder and like,
Come on, let's sit down.
I don't want to sit down here. I just want to go. They move there, but after a few seconds, Rubedo sort of moves up and is like, wait, before you leave. What? Faye? I love you. I care about you very much. And, Manda would notice they seem a little
less like themselves, but then slowly, gradually go back, and then after a moment they say, which is why I'm doing this for you. They raise their hand as though to cast a little bit of magic. Now, I've been saving my energy for this, you see. I've been waiting this whole time for you, just so that I could do this. Now, Faye, this is very important. I cast Wish. I wish for my daughter to be so awesome and strong and powerful that she could get me out of here. And they're going to attempt. But nothing happens.
I'm gonna be honest. With the current situation, it would have needed a 20 to work.
No, yeah, I know. But listen, for story reasons, it wouldn't have worked no matter what.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not even wild magic happens as
Yeah.
they sort of blink and are confused. Oh. Well, this is an interesting thing. I never expected that. So you're strong enough already, aren't you? Faye just basically starts running. Manda can tell that they are crying a little bit. Oh. Well, run along then, little boyfriend. You can find him. Unless you want to
Manda-
help me get out.
Manda sort of like looks over and like glares a little bit.
I'm not gonna be helping you out.
Kind of like clenches fist at side.
I don't think Faye is going to either.
Oh. Well, she'll get on it eventually, I'm sure.
I don't think she will.
Why not?
Listen, I can... Or at least I think... From what I've been told... Whatever little bit of shred of humanity you have left, I can tell you use a lot of it on your daughter.
Rubedo, is starting to, like, scrawl another little thing onto the wall, sort of half paying attention.
I mean, Faye must be important to you in some fashion, or else you wouldn't have taken after them like you have. They wouldn't have been at the museum. You wouldn't have tried that stunt you just pulled.
Yes, well, you see, I've never recorded anything of an alien before, and I wanted to be the first scientist on it. I figured it would be easiest to get some field research done. They sort of almost automatically respond with that.
Manda just turns to the side.
Wait a minute. Rubedo, like, licks his finger and then, like, sticks it up in the air, pauses a little bit, looks to Manda. Oh, yes, you're like her, aren't you? You have that same power. I can tell. That's interesting. Are you too an alien?
Technically, but that's not the point.
Oh, now more of the race are on this planet. That's rather interesting. And here I thought it was just Faye and... perhaps that one thing my father... They mumble and start scrawling on the walls a little more.
kind of annoyed that Rubedo's gone back to scrawling.
Say, young man, can you tell me what the 4 to the power of 6 is?
What? It's like
Kind of thinks for a moment.
4096.
Ah, yes, that's it. If Synibon were a cell closer, I would have been able to share notes. However, I must do this math by myself, which, of course, I already did because I'm smart. I just wanted to know if you know. I can't have my daughter falling in with, people who don't know what they're talking about.
He looks.
Seriously, though, isn't she a bit... I mean, you two seem a little... not the same age.
He just face palms.
We're not dating.
Alright, okay. So what is it, engaged? Have you already had the wedding while I was in here? Like...
Just like irritated, like,
If that was what it take to bring sanity to her, then maybe God.
Sanity is a concept that was invented by the weak and feeble. They go over here and look over another scrawling they made. Carry the 2 and then... So if I go over here...
Listen, I can tell you care for Faye a lot. Originally, I was gonna say more, but I don't think that's what she needs right now. She's in good hands right now. She's staying at a friend's house.
Friends? He turns. She doesn't have any of those. She's a
No.
queen. Why would she need them?
Even queens get lonely.
Not my Faye. They turn back around.
Maybe if you paid more attention to her, you'd be surprised to learn that she's been lonely in company for quite a while.
And then, gravity is 9.
Listen, you're not really listening, so I'm just gonna talk. And maybe one day when you're in here pondering your thoughts, a moment of lucidity will come to you and you'll actually realize what I said to you. At least
Yes,
that's the
that
hunch
sounds
I
very
get
nice.
anyway. But Faye's in a real tough spot right now, and I don't think she needs you leading her down the dark path that you've been doing. Like, really, bringing them to work, quote-unquote, of all things, is a step beyond unfatherly. And again, I can tell you care for them. In at least some twisted capacity. And I'd love to believe that even if I don't see it. But I think Faye needs more than anything right now some time apart from you. They're not a bad...
kind of looks like.
They're not a bad kid. They're just... with so much going on, I can understand why they feel the way they do. You know why they feel so attached to you? Or at least part of the reason? Is you made them feel wanted.
I mean, I do want them, they say, just sort of continuing to scrawl.
Kind of like, thanks. It's like,
It's...
Oh, and their little new friend as well. Could you tell that one to come and talk to me at some point?
kind of just ignores it.
Faye shouldn't have to be worrying about whether or not the people around them actually care for them in a meaningful capacity. They shouldn't have to worry that everyone they walk by is just gonna dump them on the street because they are given up at birth. They shouldn't have some complex about all this because their father can't give them the attention they really need. Listen, I don't really know what I'm trying to say, it's just... I'm angry and upset, my words are muddling, and I don't even want to be here anymore. I mostly just wanted to tell you that Faye's gonna be in good hands.
Kind of just puts a hand on the door.
Manda, you could tell that when you were saying all of that, Rubedo's usual maniacal smile turned to a frown for a longer period of time than you would have thought before. And their hand for writing stilled a little bit.
They shouldn't have to see their father in prison. Because he went out endangering the lives of others. No, I can... I can tell you something, right? Because you are right, I am a psychic. I am like Faye. In more ways than one, funnily enough. And I can even see the future and get hunches sometimes. I don't need to see the future to tell you that if everything keeps going the way it is, that it's just not gonna end well. I mean, her world is collapsing around her, and you're partly to blame for it. I mean, up until she met this girl named Arcadia, to my knowledge, they were just an...
Kind of like stutters for a moment.
some hopeless despair that they were worthless and that you were the only one that saw any value in them. I was actually kind of expected that maybe you'd... maybe you'd actually be treating them as anything more than an asset. You know, anything more than an experiment? I mean, a fucking field study, what is that?
Kind of just like clenched fist kind of bumps into the wall next to him and like a small crack forms.
She doesn't need that from anybody right now. She doesn't need to break you out of prison. She doesn't need trouble with the law. She doesn't need to be made a villain before she's even had the opportunity to be made a person.
Perhaps you're right.
She just needs affection, dude.
I do try my best. They're still facing the wall a little bit, Dear boy, what's your name?
Manda.
Manda. Well, I will not be able to help her very much, so you'll do it for me, I suppose, yes? Because, I'm going to be here for a while, I assume.
Just kind of looks.
You're going to need to help her for a little bit, aside from science and all of that, because, well, as far as a support for her world goes, they turn around and, with a frown, but that goes into the awful smile, I'm a tad unstable. And at that, they sort of almost seem to find that as an awful joke and laugh a little bit maniacally in that awful Mad Doctor laugh.
Out of curiosity, just because it's the kind of intuition I got, Manda looking at Rubedo and their epithet, are they in like some sort of clash? Like, is Rubedo trying to resist it?
Yeah,
Manda takes note of that.
it's weird because I don't know. I guess Manda does have omni-sight, so saying I don't know how much he can see is like, saying
The way
I don't
that
know how much water makes up the ocean, but
it's not
You
like
can't like see
it's not like
epithet's true
these
form, but
where
you can see like the wavelengths an epithet gives off.
basically
Yeah, no,
he would be able to see where what it would normally be, and in this case, I assume the fluctuations of Rubedo trying to suppress it in that manner, effectively.
Yeah. They would see that, like, there's some infighting going on, some movement, I suppose. Now run along now, I have some very more important things to do.
Manda just sort of sits there.
Sure. I do wish you good luck, Rubedo. Sincerely, I do. If not for your sake, then at least for Faye's.
Oh, I
think
thank you.
I think some time apart will do you good.
I'm on track to win a Nobel Prize,
Nods.
Cool.
Just starts walking away.
As you walk away slowly, or as you walk away after a bit, Rubedo would call out, "Oh, and save me a slice of the wedding cake, please!"
He's like kind of stops at the entryway to the door and just like puts a hand on his forehead and just like takes a breath, kind of rubs his brows, tries to calm down. Steps around the corner.
Faye looks a lot like they want to leave. They're effectively covering their face with the bag. Just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, Nebbia has been periodically sort of like not fully poking out because there is a cop right there, but just like pressing head against the bag flap.
Oh, and I can end this track. Da-da-da. looks up a little bit. Cool, you're here. We can leave.
Kind of looks over to the other two's jail cells, like,
Yeah, I can talk to them another day.
Faye quickly goes out and basically runs, probably with Manda following them. They run not really anywhere in specific, just kind of out in the wilderness, sort of near like some farmland, and after a little bit the two of them end up here.
I will say,
Oh.
as Manda is leaving, obviously considering his range of vision, since just slightly enough, he sees Synibon with the piece of chalk double-checking his equation. It's fine, you can still move, because considering this is just the description, effectively. But
All right.
Synibon does a last motion, putting an equal sign, and then a 2.5 encircling it, and seeming a bit interested in the result of said mathematics that he has put together, I should say. Sorry, continue.
Faye effectively would run out this sort of cornfield sort of area and just kind of huddle among the husks, I suppose. And alright, sorry, I didn't realize this was unrevealed. It's a cornfield. Faye doesn't really say much. They're kind of just sitting around, not really sure what to say or do, seemingly here to just sort of calm down as their psychic powers kind of flare, really full of anger, sadness, bad vibes, those sort of things.
yeah, Manda follows after. He doesn't really try to make like a big show of it, like, hey, slow down, just sort of like more so tailing her to make sure she's okay. Which, I mean, pretty easy for him. He's a quick guy. He doesn't really try to stay out of sight or anything either. Once Faye finally stops and like sits down and rests, he kind of slows down, like waves, so he's not like sneaking up on her or anything. And as that happens, Nebbia just sort of like pops out of bag and like floats around Faye, like with a worried expression on their face, sort of waving their arms up and down, like, "Oh no, I can feel you're sad. I can feel you're worried. What's wrong? What do I do?" Sort of like in a brief panic. They make a little light orb and just like happy, and they give it to you. Is this better?
Faye quietly just sort of starts petting Nebbia on the head. They are definitely crying and not really looking too great. Their hair isn't really floating as it usually does.
Manda sort of slowly meanders over. I imagine they're like, I don't know, like sitting down like an open patch or something.
Yeah, pretty much. One of those rows where the corn is just kind of like, corn on either side, etc. Kind of like a pathway.
And Manda just walks over, sort of sits down, crisscrosses his legs. Waits for a moment because he doesn't really know what to do or say. As Nebia just sort of panics, and Nebia flies over to Manda and like grabs him by the shoulder and pull, like, you do something! And then Nebia flies back over, and then Manda gets sort of startled, like, eh.
Are you alright?
No, but it's whatever. I'll get better, I think.
Listen, it's not just like... It's not just whatever. You know?
Sure, I guess it isn't, but I need to be strong. I guess if you want a complete answer, I'm angry, I'm sad. Pretty much the only thing I have to be happy about is the fact that I have a place to stay and Nebia's right here.
Nebia's just periodically, make happy orb, push into Faye. Make happy orb, push into Faye. Gets tired, takes rest, panics, repeats. Unfortunately, it's hard to outpace the sad.
Listen, it's okay to be strong, but... It's also okay to let your guard down. You don't have to be strong all the time, you know? Like, I get it, right? You're in a tough situation. I don't think we need to go over the details. It can feel hard to be emotionally vulnerable. Like, I understand that. I get that. That's completely understandable. There's new people all around you. I don't imagine you've known this Arcadia person for very long.
A week.
Steve,
Nods.
yeah. But that doesn't...
He thinks.
But that won't stop things from changing, right?
Kind of like looks up as like, you know, the sun manages to set. You can finally see some stars poking out through the cloud and the sort of orange ombre blue mixing, kind of creating like a purple midsection.
Like, the world's big. The universe is even bigger. And anywhere, everywhere, any singular place could have its down moment. Every singular person could have like a down moment, you know? It only really stays as down for as long as you let it. At least that's how I see it. I mean... I don't know. I guess it's a weird point of comparison, but... Just recently, for the longest time...
kind of like looks down to his arms and like kind of like just generally down at his body. You can see like scars like literally everywhere.
Like when I got my powers, I sort of thought everything was over for me. Like I lost my job. I was on the verge of dropping out of school. My grades were so bad. My mom was like literally kicking my ass because I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't control everything. I was in constant pain. They hospitalized me for God, what felt like forever.
Kind of like sulks.
And I just had to deal with that. I mean, that was my life for the better part of this year. Like,
Yeah.
sure, I guess my mom was there for me, but my family was there for me. That was pretty much it. Sure, some people at the school thought it was cool, but nobody wants to be next to the freak kid, right? When I did finally go back, like I still couldn't manage my grades, I couldn't focus. Could barely make it to classes because I just...
Look like he pulls up his legs and like the pants on his legs, and you just see like scars.
Like, I'm still going through physical therapy. I mean, a lot of days I would literally just lie in bed and try to focus on not feeling the pain. But like, I don't know. I didn't let that keep me down. Like, it was depressing, don't get me wrong, it was sad. One day I was just like, you know, this is fine. I can feel bad. You know, I can feel horrible. I can not want to get up, I can lay down, act worthless, whatever you want to say. Like, doesn't mean it's always gonna be that way. I mean, look at me now. I know you're not in exactly a similar position. I know it's just... It's different, I understand that. You just need time. I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I say. With enough time, you'll figure out your own solution. If you want to go break out your dad, break out your dad. It's not like I'll be there to stop you. I'm not going to be with you 24/7. Just think on it, right? Like, you've been happy with this person, Arcadia, so far at least, yeah? And it proves there's at least one more person out there that cares about you. I guarantee that's not the only person. You're not born into the world with only like one person created to like ever give a shit about you. You can always make more. Like, people find new friends every day.
Kind of like points at.
They let out a sigh for a second. I'm not feeling worthless or weak or anything. And sure, I guess that's true. I just don't when for an entire 13 years of my life, the only thing I have to my name is a rock, which sprouted into one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. And the only person who wanted to pick me up ever was a good guy who has an awful power. And then, like, the third person ever I find that cares about me was by happenstance after they were almost, like, murdered by weird mercenaries who I also almost killed. Like, ugh.
See, it sounds like you just need a break.
I remember seeing you once when your psychic powers really suck, and yeah, that looked like it was awful. So yeah, I can kind of understand there. My powers kind of also suck because I can't control anything with it. Anytime someone touches me with anything that isn't normal, I break out into hives or something, and then suddenly I have a monkey tail. Or I can turn, like, older and cooler or whatever for a couple of minutes, and just everything in the world pisses me off. I want to distance myself from all of the nonsense and the stupid bureaucratic bullshit and all of that as much as possible.
Manda nods.
I don't feel like a normal person. So I don't like all of them just going around controlling everything or whatever. Making me have to sit here through a whole bunch of stupid nonsense and say, oh, don't worry, the next family that comes by will pick you up, and they never do, so I have to run away and take things into my own hands. I want to feel like I'm not the only one protecting me, and yeah, that's what I'm getting. It just... Why now after everything? It's good that I'm getting any form of care from Nebbia or Arcadia or, like, my dad sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just tired of feeling like I'm weak to do anything, even when I go out of my way to do it. I could, if I really wanted, I could go super strong and burn down this entire cornfield if I wanted, but it wouldn't make me feel strong. It just means I can burn a bunch of corn. I'm powerless to do anything.
Manda just sort of thinks.
They actually think a little bit more on what they're saying. Maybe I should just burn circles into the corn anyway to make one of those cool alien crop circles or whatever.
I think
Kind of scratches the back of his head again.
how do I say this? I'm not good at comforting people. I don't know, I disagree. I mean, you're definitely a lot stronger than I was at your age, and I'm not even talking about powers. I'd be freaking the hell out. Like, I don't think I could manage any of that.
Well, I'm not managing it alone, at least, they say, just sort of petting Nebula. They seem to be in a bit more of a neutral state.
I think it's already shown a lot of your strength that you've taken your life into your hands to such a degree at this point in your life. I mean, you're more mature than a lot of the people at DBA.
Yeah, and that's all fair. I know I'm strong like that, but I know I'm strong enough to take my own life into my own hands and do whatever, but they, like, close their eyes a little bit. Even if that's the case, I'm not living in my own little personal world where my own strengths or adventures or goals or journeys are the only thing that matters. Eventually, I'm going to get old enough that people are going to ask me for taxes or something stupid. And I don't want to pay taxes. I want to be a fucking alien.
He kind of just thinks to himself.
Well, I'm sure if you stick around DBA, you'll not have to worry about any of that stuff.
Use them like an umbrella my whole life.
I mean, maybe not your whole life, but if they're there to help, why not use them as a jumping point? That's what I'm doing. I don't plan on staying around here forever either. But I mean, it's thanks to them that I can...
Kind of just looks at his, like, lifts up his hand and sort of like flexes his fingers and closes it in a fist.
I can even think to be normal again.
I guess that's the difference between us, they say a little bit, smiling somewhat. You want to be normal? I want to push myself as far away from that as possible.
Well, I don't know if want to be is the correct term, but here I am. I think it's a good first step. You don't gotta look too far in the future. It's fine to have short goals. Looking to the unknown is scary.
Kind of just like starts playing in the dirt. He says, thinking of his like literal future sight and stuff.
Do you want to burn crop circles into this stupid cornfield?
Uh...
He thinks about it. It's like, I've still got money left over from my last DBA episode.
You know what, sure. It's good to get some stress out every now and then.
Who knows? Maybe if we do them well enough, an alien will see and pick us up, and we'll be able to go do something cool in space. They say, smiling a little bit. They basically just start doing little bursts of Alien Queen where they use the space laser to burn circles into the ground. Not completely raising the Earth, but like, just enough so that the stubs of the corn are left behind, so it looks like there's a little bit of texture there.
Manda mostly tries to watch and encourage Faye from the sidelines, but if she was like, "What? You're not gonna do it?" He'd get up and start using Psycho Shock.
They wouldn't care if Manda was doing it. Because, like, eventually they would, after a few seconds, leave a part unfinished as they have to drop out of Alien Queen or else suffer penalty of being Mega Baby. They just sort of look at what they left, and after a few moments, you know what? Let me give a roll for quality of crop circles, just because I feel like it. 13 quality. Hopefully something notices. Something does notice, then I could leave for a bit and maybe come back with cool alien secrets or something.
Manda just sort of looks and like lets out a small laugh.
Yeah, I guess. So, what's the deal with your little alien anyway?
They look to Nebia.
Nebia is drawing their own corn circles in the corn using their light orbs.
Well, when I was a baby, I was left with a rock, and I was like constantly feeling like I had these powers when I was holding it, but when I wasn't holding the rock, then I wasn't, which was because I learned that Nebia was inside of it, and it was like an egg or something. I don't know why Nebia was left with me, but now we're kind of inseparable. They close their eyes and put their head against Nebia's. Nebia is also psychic, but they have an epithet too, I think. I've been trying to poke around and guess at it, but I mean, I think I have an idea. They look to Nebia. Hey, Nebia.
They look up.
Is your epithet enlightenment?
They look at you for a second, like kind of cock their head, and then they like widen their eyes and open their mouth.
Whoa!
Which that is close enough to get it. It isn't the exact one though.
I see.
Their epithet is enlightened.
Got it.
Oh. 5th try. Nice.
Well, I'll just say Faye gets 1 for that. That's a funny word, but not a hard one, I think.
Well, yeah, I guess in that case, they've been quote unquote enlightening me and themselves, and we've been doing stuff together because
Nebia is going around shooting off little firework orbs now that they know their own epithet.
Faye is happy that Nebia seems happy.
considering they were the original thing, or the original person that I was left with and all of that, I've been pretty much working to be strong enough so that me and Nebia could just exist on our own.
They turn to Manda and say, like,
It's kind of like I'm half Nebia's parent and half we're like siblings or something, because, you know, I hatched them from the egg, but also we're like really close like that. Like a sibling bond, but you get it.
Nods.
Hey, Nebia.
They look up at you again.
Like, I guess I know you were left with me or whatever, but like, do you have parents or a family?
They kind of look at you for a second. And for a moment they kind of pause, and then they beam images of you and Rubedo into your head.
I meant more like if there was more of your, like, people or race or whatever.
They look at you and you see their like little sort of like side antenna sort of lower, as if they've done something wrong. And they're just like, thinking, put their hands on the side of their head, like rubbing their temples sort of gesture.
It's okay.
they just sort of set their hand on Nebia's head.
We can act like I'm also part of your race.
They give a kind smile to Nebia. She stands up holding Nebia in their arms, and they look to Manda.
Well, that's cool. Has all been a big thing or whatever. If you ever tell anyone about this, I'll disintegrate your mind with a death ray or something. Thanks.
He's sort of just like,
Uh-huh. No problem.
I'm gonna go back to the apartment now, so...
kind of like looks up like,
I mean, it's getting dark. Do you need me to walk you back?
If you want. I'm strong. Strong enough, I guess.
nods. Like, kind of like stands up and flexes his leg and like pops into the air like 2 feet, then lands.
Okay.
Sort of like starts looking around.
Do you know how to get to there from here?
I can figure it out.
Okay, we can use the GPS on my phone. I just wanna... Just stay right here. I'm gonna go find, like, a house nearby or something and ask whose cornfield this is. Just to make sure we don't get in trouble.
I mean, we could just walk out the way we came and go back to the police station, but if you want to do things the normal people way, I'll do things the alien way.
Well, I mean,
They said that in more of like a fun, dumb, like, kind of teasing manner.
Wanda just sort of like,
I don't know. I mean, I have the money. I may as well pay for it. Maybe they'll make a business out of it. Letting people raise their crops for fun.
Guess that would be a funny business.
Anyway, just hang around. I'll be right back. Shouldn't take me long.
Okay.
you see Manda just like straight up fucking Hulk jump away. And he like puts his hand on his head and like begins turning in the air looking for a house.
Faye kind of like watches him go, and just as a small thing, they just sort of mumble to themselves. I really wonder why crazy dad was stuck on the idea of me and Manda being in a relationship. They look to Nebula and make a heebie-jeebie expression.
Nebula is currently taking a piece of corn and trying to put it in the bag.
Faye's helping them steal corn.
Yeah.
If Arcadia asks, we got it from the store, okay?
Yeah. But I imagine you'd probably make your way to like the side of the road next to where you guys entered after Manda's gone for a few minutes.
Yep. Should I put on the track?
Yep. After nabbing a few things of corn, you'd notice Nebula would sort of like almost flickering. They'd sort of like begin suddenly like become attentive of something. And they begin zipping around in their little ball of light form, sort of wandering around the area, sort of like making their way out into the center of the road, sort of like looking about sporadically, their antennae twitching. and you get a sense of sort of almost worry and foreboding from them. As very briefly, you catch glimpse in your mind's eye of the world around you through a different lens. There's almost like a wellspring of energy that is seemingly almost latched on like a suction cup. Oh boy. Trying to make this quick because my therapist is messaging me. Like a suction cup that is darted into the landscape around you and began infusing itself into the terrain. Your vision sort of flashes over again and it's normal. I imagine you sort of like, oh, whoa, what was that?
Yeah, they would
Sort of
blink, look around. Huh?
stand up, and Nebia flickers back over to you and begins like pulling on your hand. Their eyes sort of tilted downwards in a worried expression. Again, your vision flashes, your sort of third eye becoming tinted with this vision of like everything around you sort of being tinted a array of sort of prismatic colors. And Nebia flickers up, your eyes following after them, and you notice coming from above you it rises into a pillar and almost spirals off into the sky,
What in the...
leading into the horizon. Your vision fades again and it sort of disappears, and you see Nebia this time with a more worried expression as they quickly sort of try to grab you and like pull you along. As doing so, your vision flashing it again, you notice whatever this is, this wellspring of energy seems to be following you. In fact, it seems to, whilst it was quite wide at first, you'd say anywhere from like a 20 to 30 foot diameter, radius, 20 to 30 foot radius, it's been shrinking, with you and Nebia at the center. You move one way, it darts after you. You move the other way, it darts after you. Nebia flickers away from you for a moment, in a bit of a panic, sort of picking up a nearby rock and just throwing it into the sky. And you notice that it almost stretches to compensate both of you, as if it is focused on you two individuals particular.
Nebia, what's going on?
Nebia flickers back to you, hopping back into the bag for a minute, almost scared. And then you realize why. As Nebia recedes into the depths of their bag, cowering even, your psionic link sort of flares up, and you begin receiving the same amount of information that Nebia begins seeming. Suddenly, you fall to your knees. An influx of voices unknown to you begin just piling in, overwhelming your senses. Your vision goes blurry for a moment, and you find it troubling to stand. The energy spiraling around you flashes this intensely bright light, and you almost immediately begin to get a headache. This time, you sort of fall, you catch yourself, you look up this, and you see dotting the sort of tube connecting this energy to the ground are several impending lights that are rushing toward you at an expedient rate. And you notice at this moment, even without whatever vision has overtaken you, Nebia is lending you their senses. This energy has begun to burn into the terrain, creating a visible sort of flaring aura that's visible even to your naked eye. It begins encroaching, this time at a quicker rate. You can feel your breath heavy, your heartbeat begins to quicken. this energy is now sort of interacting with your own. You can feel your own sort of psionic powers begin to flare to life as you begin trying to make telepathic connections with entities that aren't even there, reaching out to minds unpresent. You sort of manage to even blink, teleport, randomly, just in a sporadic direction, sort of landing on your butt. And then by the time you manage to pull yourself up, you forward. Now you're on your hands and knees. Nebula all the while flickering after you. Sort of like, whoa, what's going on? Obviously in a similar, obviously as unaware to the situation and as distressed as you would be.
Faye doesn't really know what to do herself as their head is starting to hurt and their senses are being overwhelmed and everything is just a whole lot. They just somewhat flare out their psychic powers weakly, albeit a little bit, as maybe a little bit of a threat to back the fuck off, but not really able to back that up in any meaningful way.
As you attempt to do so, and you find your psychic abilities somewhat enhanced. Though it doesn't seem to stop or even minorly deter what's going on. As just above you, those orbs of light home in on you. Above you, you see that very same light, almost creating like a dome around you. Sort of, again, still visible to your naked eye, almost rips open. And as it rips open, you look up, revealing the tube that is connecting it to the horizon. And what you see is just the infinite vastness of space. Immediately, all the air around you begins to get sucked into the hole. And you find yourself reaching for anything to grab onto, lest you yourself be pulled up into its grasp. Just as that happens, you turn your gaze, levitating into the air. You find those orbs of light begin to, one by one, appear in the rift that's formed in the air above you. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dozens of figures that almost appear similar in stature, but of varying builds and sizes and colors to Nebula. Some are large, more rotund, some have jagged edges. Some are more humanoid, some are more bestial. Of all varying colors and types, you see aliens that bear a striking resemblance to Nebula. And as Nebula themselves begins getting sucked back, trying their best to zoom into a ball of light after you, only barely managing to sort of tuck into your chest, you find yourself ripped from the ground, soaring into the air and past the rift. As the wellspring encompassing the road pops like a bubble, the rift swirls to a close and the tube recedes back into the sky, sailing into the horizon. Faye with it. Nebula as well. Just as Manda appears on screen in a worried sweat. They sort of look, obviously huffing and puffing.
No, you've got to be fucking kidding me! God damn it!
He sort of pounds his own head, bringing his bringing his hands to his head.
And what use is future sight if I can't even get there in time?
And I think we can end there.
Yeah.
If you wanna... I don't know what joke I want to go for. Anyway, join Fine Dining, our Discord server. There's the link. Say goodbye to chat, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, chat.